the next issue of our Puresque TV with no one else than Terence Fixmer. So Terence, nice to meet you. And Terence was born in 1972 in Lille in France. I would like to give the word to Terence now. So could you please tell me a little bit about your influences, your childhood, maybe your first LP, and how did you come to electronic music?
Okay, me, I live in Lille, the north of France. And so at the time I love electronic sound always, but there was no techno. Around 87, 88 there was no techno, you know, so I was just a teenager and I was listening a lot of EBM music. You know, there was a lot of famous band in Belgium where I was living near the border, just at French Techno-Legend, you know, like Clinic, the Neon Judgment. So it was really my first influence with electronic music. Then after a while, this EBM evolved in a kind of what we call in Belgium new beat.
New beat?
Yeah, new beat sound. The new beat was a kind of a mixture of the beginning of techno for us. You know, it was a kind of EBM, but less vocals, less melody with vocals, more focus on sound, and then slowly came the techno. So my influence, I would say, will come from all this EBM and new beat music.
Let me tell you something about Terence, because Terence is one of France's most treasured protagonists of electronic music scene, and he has been in the business more than 20 years right now. And his first, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the first 12-inch you published was 1993 on the Belgium label, and it was under another name. What was the name?
At this time, I was really young. I was a teenager, and it was like the beginning of techno. You know, like really there was really techno from 90, you know, 89, 1991, and at that time was many releases were on the kind of band project, you know, and so I released like my first 12-inch under the name of Scanner.
Scanner.
Yeah, but after that I have other projects, you know, like Alpha Process, Cyborg, and a lot of things. But I did my first release under my real name, under Terence Fixmer, in '98.
Which label was it?
In fact, it was I created my label. It was Planet Rouge, and then it was under the Planet Rouge. But after, it was licensed to Gigolo Records, and then I released like for 4 years on Gigolo Records.
That was very famous. So, yeah, and so you founded Planet Rouge in when was it?
98.
98?
Yeah.
Really? 98, yeah. So it's a long time ago.
Yeah, but after a while I stopped Planet Rouge for some years. I mean, Planet Rouge is just a label, egoistic label for me. I just release when I want, what I really like, and I don't have a really like a plan in my head or marketing plan like a lot of label. It's just like a release for my own pleasure.
That's something very unique for Terence, because he has reached this respectful level of success without excessive promotion and going with the mainstream, and that's something which makes him, for me, very unique, and I hope you can agree. So the thing I would be interested in is, what's different for you to publish on Planet Rouge or on other labels like the one you have with Emmanuel Top, the tech label. I really would like to name the name.
I know, with Emmanuel Top, yeah, Emmanuel Top is another story. Emmanuel Top is he's a really good friend of mine, but we know when we were 12 years old. So
really?
we were in the same classroom in school, and when we were 12 years old, there was no techno. We didn't know about techno, we just know French Techno-Legend or all this band. And after, you know, we grew up, and then techno came. So he get into techno in terms of producing earlier than me. And but as a really good friend, I was really all time at his place, in his studio, to learn things and everything. And then he created his label called Attack Records. And then I work, because we were good friends, I work for Attack Records for some time with him.
There was a 1996 Attack Records.
No, it was even earlier. It was, I think it was 93.
93, and
yeah.
it still exists, doesn't it?
It stopped for a while, but the last years he re-released it, like all track he has done, plus some new track. So let's say now Attack Record is back, but more like digital.
And can you remember the first 12-inch you published on Attack? Was it very special? And
yeah,
what happened?
The first was called Carlos Mendes, but
Carlos Mendes.
Long story. But I mean, he has really big success with a track called Acid Phase.
Was it a story about you had the ship packings for the different countries, like?
I don't know. Yeah, like when I talked to Paul and everything, we were speaking of the vinyl time, the great vinyl time.
Yeah, the great vinyl time.
I remember when there was a release, like he had a release as first pressing of vinyl were maybe like 17,000.
17,000, did you get it?
Yeah.
17,000, so how can you ship 17,000 records?
Yeah, I mean, there was some truck coming and you have to put... I mean, it was the vinyl time, you know, at this time there was no digital, it was only vinyl. It was it was good time, 94, you know, so... And Emmanuel Tom has great success, so like first press was a lot.
Can you imagine this? 17,000 vinyls you have to ship all over the world. So you have one package for Germany, one package for Austria, one package for America. So I mean, 17,000, that was just the first version of the vinyl. So these times are over. So we are happy that Terence still exists, and so please don't do it. I'm scared. So, but I would like to know, what have you done with Emmanuel Top at school when you have been not into electronic music? Can you remember when you have been the first time at Tresor Club? And
yeah, the first time I was in Tresor, in fact, was in '95. It was during the Love Parade. I came here like for Love Parade, and then I remember like Tresor is like legendary name, so everybody like Tresor and Everk. It was the two clubs everybody wants to go.
Ones,
yeah. So I went for Tresor but it was so much queue to get in, it was really hardcore. And then it was my first time as just party boy. But
just
then,
party boy.
Yeah.
Fantastic, huh?
And for playing, then it was 2000 something, or 2001 or something like this. Around 2000 I came to play in Tresor.
And can you remember the feeling you had when you first entered Tresor Club? Could you imagine that you once will be behind the turntables?
No. I mean, I was passionate with techno music, but I didn't know that some years later I will be an artist and I will play and everything. But yeah, I remember when I came in Tresor, I was really impressed, because when I come from France, there's no club more looking like this, like super raw, like industrial in some point, you know, and the sound was really like really into your heads, and a lot of strobo, smoke. You can see nothing is going on more far than 2 meters, but you just see arms, a face, a leg. That was special. That was
very special. As I said at the beginning, that's the 21st anniversary of Tresor, and for this anniversary we have a very special magazine, which is Tresor Regional, and you can get it here at the club, or you can get it also online. And yeah, I would like to give it to you as a good memory from old times, and you can also find an interview from Puresque inside.
Okay.
Puresque, these are the guys who invited you for this evening, and yeah, the special thing is, you know, Paul Bridget, and the thing you have in common is you both are live acts. So
yeah.
Can you explain what is a live act especially? Because yeah, just
I don't know. For me, live is like compared to a DJ, the easy image to compare is like live is a concert. It's like when you go to see at a concert a band. They will play the song you know from the CD. They're gonna play only their song, but in a bit different from the CD, you know. But you recognize the song. So live is the same in techno, you know. I replay the track I release, but in a different way, more in a live way. That's it. And
The thing about live acts is the live act is producing the song DJs are playing and with whom DJs are receiving the honor. So for me the live act is the one who's the real musician because he's doing real music. The DJ is just playing vinyls, but the live act is doing real music, and that's why I'm interested, I'm exhausted, I'm nervous, and I'm really looking forward to hear you playing later. So because it's a great honor to have you here from France.
Okay.
Thanks for the interview.
Happy to be here.
Thanks.
This is your lady back. Bring it back with my stick. Come my way. You can now. Now, come to my place. Higher, higher. This is your lady back. And the back will be my gift.